connected.
Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. As usual, I'm doing another install, but something that's necessary is some handguards that I really need, because I right off noticed I had them on my other bike and they was great. Handguards are good for, you know, wind protection, for brush hitting you, for falling over and you keep from bending your handlebars a lot, and your levers, and protecting your grips and a lot of other parts on your bike. The ones I've got is from CRF250L. These are the ZETA Pro Armor handguards, either the Pro Bend handguards, and these are the XC protectors. Now you can get these XC protectors with the turn signal lights built in them, but I already have the turn signals that LEDs I added on here, so I didn't opt to get that. But you can also get the same XC protectors without the signals, save you a little money if you already have the LED lights. And these are the Pro Bend, which means they come out and they drop down and back. So from ZETA, which is a Dirt Freak company, which also, as you know, Dirt Freak makes the DRC products that I use on a lot of stuff. And CRF's only has all the DRC ZETA products for the 250L that you can get. Super place to get stuff. These things are a must-have for your bike if you're going to do any off-road. Let's go ahead and take this out of the package, and I'll show you one of them, of what parts it takes to do the one install on one side, and then we'll do the other. And let's get started. Okay, out here I have laid out all the parts I'm going to need to do the throttle side handguard, including the aluminum handguard itself, then the XC protector. This is the mount bracket. Now on a CRF250L you want to make sure, and it's no problem at CRFsonly.com, I'll post the link, you can directly buy this, but you want the one for the 7/8 bar if you're using the factory bars or any 7/8 bar on the Honda CRF250L. And then of course you got your bolt that will go into your handlebar. You have the spacer and the nut, the wedge nut. The spacer would depend on what type bar you use. We will be, I'm sure, using the big one because we don't have the aluminum bars. We have the steel bars, which is actually a more hollow tube inside. And then we have this spacer here for the end of our throttle tube to keep it from rubbing up against anything. Then of course we got the XC protector and the screws that hold it onto the hand grip. So let's go ahead and do the modification that we need to do to our throttle tube assembly and get this thing installed. Okay, the first thing we're going to want to do is we got to cut the end of this grip off, because this part here we won't be using with the hand guards, and we'll also, the plastic insert inside here, the throttle tube assembly, we'll have to either cut it off or drill the hole in the end of that plastic tube. So what I did on my last bike, I believe, on the 250L, was I cut it right along this line. There's a line of the diamond on here to the smooth, and I cut it with a razor or a knife, sharp knife, right on that line right there. So if you just take and easily cut it right on that line, all the way around. Just like that, we removed it. Now we got to trim this end off here. Alright, what I'm going to do is the same thing I did on my last CRF250L, the 2014 model, is instead of drilling this out, I opted to take a hacksaw blade, or you can use a sawzall blade that's metal cutting, works good because it's fine and it won't mess anything up. And then I just take and saw this all the way around by hand. It's not hard to do at all. And it trims it right off at the end of the tube, because I don't want any of this plastic extruding out here and getting in the way, nothing to grab onto it and cause anything to have a problem. So we'll go ahead and just trim this piece right off. Alright, now I have it all nice and smooth, even with the end of the bar pretty close. So that ought to work good. If not, if I need to do a little trimming after I put it back up here, and we'll see. But as you can see, my little washer that goes on the end of the throttle tube fits right up here, so I think that'll be a good matchup, so we'll put it on and see. Okay, now we need to loosen these ties right here, or just remove them until we're done. We can stick these back on to get them out of the way and give us a little more room to work here. Then we'll take this, and we need to back these bolts out to put this on. Now we don't want to tighten these up yet because we don't know the location yet of where they're going to go. So leave it where it's free, and we can move it back and forth and up and down. All right, now on this handguard here, we are going to slip this into here, put this in just like this. We're using the larger one, of course, for the steel bars. The smaller one would be most likely for your aluminum bars. So we'll put this in. We want to turn the taper part in. And what this does is when this actually tightens this taper in, you see these splits in this, it spreads this out and tightens it on the inside of the bar. So right now we just want to run it into it snug just to hold it right there, like so. Let's go ahead and slide our plastic spacer on here before we forget it. Okay, this actually fits with this above your throttle cables instead of below. I tried it below, but it seems to fit better above, so we'll put it right up there. We just want to snug all the bolts up while making sure that this thing stays free. Your throttle, you don't want it to not snap back like that. If it's got any drag at all, you need to pull this out a little bit. When you tighten it, make sure that you're not in so far that you're making it to have drag. So we want that just free, just like that. Okay, making sure that this is pretty much level up and down right here on the front. So when we put our hand guards on, they'll be nice and straight. And then we'll tighten these up good once they're inside the bar. And make sure also that you don't have no drag. It just clicks, snaps right back just like that. Make sure it's level up and down before we tighten our clamp onto our bars right here. Okay, now we'll install our XC protector right on here. We'll go just like so. And it might be a good idea on your bolts, even these that I didn't do. I may want to take them back out and actually put some blue Loctite on all this, just to make sure that everything stays in place. To put on the handguard, you want to peel this sticker off. You won't need it no more anyway. You can save it if you want, but to access them holes, or you could just take something and poke the holes out, but it's easier just to remove it. If you'll note that the red is not an exact match. This is called CR red, but it's not an exact match to the CR red. So, but it'll work fine. It actually looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and do the other side now. And of course, the nice part about doing this side is you don't have to mess with the throttle tube. Just mark your line right here, cut the end of your grip off. Make sure it's nice and flush like that. One thing to note is that if you'll notice, I put these on where the bolts are coming up from the bottom. You can put them where they come from the top, but the reason I do this is because these Allen bolts will hold water in them. And what I do is I turn them over the other way, and then I just put where this threaded hole is on the other side. It pretty much comes flush when you tighten it up, but I just take a spot of silicone and put right in the end of them on top of the bolt and just smear it across, smooth it off, and it will keep water out of the threads. And that way I'm sealed. These things ain't holding water every time it rains, and it seems to work pretty good. And also when you're doing this side here, you do not have the plastic washer like you did on the other side. That was because that plastic washer is for the end of the throttle tube. I may not have showed it in the last one on the video, but I went ahead and cranked this down enough that where it spread this out enough when I put this in here that it fits fairly snug, and then it won't spin on you when you're trying to tighten it. I want it fairly snug like that, maybe a little bit more. That's the ZETA Handguards from CRFsonly.com. I'll post a link in the description below, so these should offer some good protection and good looks to your CRF250L or any dirt bike or dual sport. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Woodzman Adventures. I want you to please click the thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, because we got a lot more things coming up. And thank you for everything. Catch you on the next video. Right on.